All right, hopefully you had a little chance to look through some of these. If not, we're just going to work them together. All right. Today we'll try to do the first half, and then tomorrow we'll do the other half. All right. So here we go. It says, George is helping manage a local produce market, expand her business by distributing flyers around the neighborhood. He gets paid $20 a day, as well as 5 cents for every flyer he distributes. George would like to earn at least $65. All right. So if he wants to earn at least $65, he's going to have to earn what? He's going to have to earn what? More or less? More. Right? So what you should be doing is you should be crossing out A and B. Right? And then he wants $20 and 5 cents for each flyer. So hopefully you're not too concerned about that. All right? Thank you. Correct answer for number 1 was C. All right. Now for the division. All right. Let's look at that real quick. 16x to the 6th minus 12x to the 4th plus 4x squared. Don't forget, you're literally dividing each one of those by what? By 4x squared. All right. You divide each term by 4x squared. And so you end up with what? 4x to the 4th minus plus 1. Anybody have any questions? All right. So again, the answer is what? C. All right. Now for question number 3, subtracting 1 from both sides, we would say P is less than -2, or P is greater than what? 12. So if you're less than -2 or greater than 12, all right, you would be what? You would be A. All right. Any questions? Pretty straightforward. All right. Number 4, John is considering accepting one of 2 sales positions. ABC company offers a yearly salary of $45,000, and XYZ company offers a yearly salary of $38,000 plus 2% annual commission. For what amount of sales is salary XYZ greater than ABC? So we want XYZ. So here is XYZ. So XYZ is offering you what? 38,000 plus what? Plus 2% of your sales. And ABC is just offering you what? 45,000. Everybody good with that? Now, to me, you're just subtracting, so you end up with 0.02x is equal to what? Everybody happy with that? 7,000. Now, you have to remember, instead of dividing by 0.02, to me it's easier to just understand 0.02 is the same as 1/50th. Is everybody good with that? I like multiplying instead of dividing by a decimal. All right, so that means I just multiply both sides by what? 50. So x is equal to, now it's just 7 times 5, which is what? 35 with 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros. 1, 2, 3, 4. So he needs to make what? $350,000 in sales. All right? So D. Everybody good with that? All right, number 5 is just a proportion, so we can do what? Cross multiply. So I get -2s is equal to 36. So s is equal to what? -18. All right, now remember, please speak up if you're not sure. Connor, come on, man. All right, this is particularly important. Seriously. All right. You don't want to take Algebra 1 again. Number 6, the average of Paul's 2 test scores must be 80 or more for her to get at least a B in the class. She got a 72 on her first test. What grade can she get on her second test to make at least a B? Well, if we're only talking about 2 tests, this one should be relatively easy, right? If she got 8 points below the average, she needs to be what? She needs to be 8 points above the average. It's only 2 tests. So she needs to make at least a what? She needs to make at least an 88. Now again, that's a kind of a good question. Does anybody have any concerns about that? All right. All right. Now again, the most important problems are quadratics and lines. So please make sure you're good with this. All right. What is the equation of the line? All right. So everybody's supposed to write down y equals mx plus b. And everybody should be able to tell me that b stands for the y-intercept. So where does it cross the y-axis? At -5. Thank you very much. So -5 is the b. X. Now I need the slope, which is the rise over the run. All right, so this point is definitely on the graph. This point is definitely on the graph. So my rise was what? 1, 2, 3. And my run is what? 1. So 1 and 3. So my slope is what? 3. So y equals 3x minus 5. Anybody have any questions with that? Yes, ma'am. Good.
I don't get why you stopped at 2.
Because, look right here, I'll show you that again. See, to find the slope, you have to pick 2 points that are on the graph, right? Now, I can't pick this point right here because I don't know exactly what the x and y are. You with me? You with me? Right. So I could have chosen this one right here, right? Or I could have chosen this one right here. And guess what? It doesn't matter if I do from here to here. That's 6 over 2, which reduces to 3 over 1. All right, come on now. Anybody has any questions, speak up now. All right? A little bit of information will help out. All right? And like I said, your entrance exams are super important for your parents, trust me. All right? So now let's take a look at number 8. Number 8 should be pretty easy, just adding 8 to both sides. So m is less than or equal to what? 22. Now don't forget, if you want to make yourself a note there, remember, it's multiplying or dividing by a negative when you change the signs. Multiplying or dividing by a negative is when you change the signs. Anybody have any questions? All right, let's take a look at number 9. Okay, so again, this is important. The y-intercept is 3. So this y-intercept is 3. This y-intercept is 3. This is not a y-intercept of 3, and that does not have a y-intercept of 3. All right? Then I'm looking for a what? A slope of 1/2, which means I go up 1 and over 2. So I'm going to look at A first. So from the y-intercept, I go up 1 and over 2. So everybody see how that is not the answer then. So if I go over here at 3 again, up 1 and over 2. So there it is, C. Please remember, ask me a question now if you're not sure about the lines. All right, lines and quadratics are the most you'll see, I think, on your entrance exams. Which of the following relation is a function? So if you forgot this, make yourself a note. All x values must be different. All x values must be different. All right? So -2, -2, that's not going to work. 1, -1, 2, -2, 3, -3. The x's are all different. So B is correct. All right? In C, -1 and -1. In D, I have -3 and -3. Any questions with that? And again, you're writing things down so it'll help you, remember it. All right? Now, power to power, what's the rule for exponents? Power to power, you multiply. All right? And again, I honestly feel like this is how simple it is. A to the 6th, B to the 4th. Either you know the rules or you don't. All right? Or I'm sorry, b squared. I don't know why I said b before. B squared, thank you. So a to the 6th, b squared.
So what did you just multiply? So that would just be AB6?
3 times 2 and 1 times 2. You're doing them individually, Connor.
Oh, yeah.
All right, here we go, number 12. All right. Now, breaking down square roots. All right. First of all, I would see if they can reduce. All right. So 48 and 147 are both divisible by 3. All right. So 48 divided by 3 is 16. And 147 divided by 3, yes, is 49. So now the square root of 16 is what? 4. Square root of 49 is 7. Therefore, the answer is A. All right. Solve for V. All right. So if we have R is equal to V divided by I, we're just getting rid of the I by multiplying both sides by what? I. So V is equal to I times R. All right, next. No solution. I want everybody to remember, underline no solution. All right? No solution means that the lines are what? Thank you very much. The lines are parallel. And if lines are parallel, what's true? Slopes are what? Slopes are equal. Slopes are equal. Is everybody good with this? Anybody have any questions? Slopes are equal. All right? So now let's look at letter A. It's not written in the right format, correct? So the negative x is in the way. So I got to move the x over, right? So when I do that, that becomes y equals x minus 4, and I'm comparing that to y equals x plus 4. Do they have the same slope?
Yes.
Yes, they do. Right? Now we don't say they're x, but we say they're 1. Thank you. All right, the slopes are 1. So are those parallel? Yes. All right, so they will not have a solution. They will not have a solution. So I think A is the correct answer. All right. Now, if we look over here, I add 1. So now I have, look, guys, I want you to take a special look at this one. Y equals 4x plus 1 and y equals 4x plus 1. Are those lines parallel? It looks like it because they have the same what? They have the same slope. But what else is true? They have the same y-intercept. Therefore, it is the same line. So in this case, there would be what? Infinite number of solutions. There would be an infinite number of solutions. All right? Now, the last thing you want to add a note here is this. How do you tell if lines are perpendicular? How do you tell if lines are perpendicular? 100% of the time it's on the test. Do you remember? Yes. That's exactly correct. So if lines are perpendicular, write that down. If lines are perpendicular, the slopes are negative reciprocals. If lines are perpendicular, slopes are negative reciprocals. Come on, Drew. You got all that written down now? Come on, man. You got to participate. All right, you got a big test coming up. Your mom and dad aren't calling me saying, why did he do so bad? They're not going to do that. Right? So that's what I'm saying. In order for them not to scream at me, you're going to have to participate in class, or I'm calling them up right after class. I promise you. All right? So when I say write something down, I mean write something down. So again, parallel means lines have the same slope, and there is no solution. Perpendicular lines have slopes that are negative reciprocals. All right, slopes that are negative reciprocals. All right. Now, again, if you have the same line, or if you have the same slope and the same y-intercept, there is an infinite number of solutions. All right. Hopefully you reviewed everything I just said right there. That's a big part of the test. All right, here we go. Something we really didn't talk about too much, but let's see if you can figure it out. It says 30 people were asked if they wore a blue shirt or a red shirt. The Venn diagram shows the result. What do you think 4 represents? The number that wore both. The number that wore both. That's exactly correct. So how many people were involved in the survey? 30. So how many do we have accounted for so far? No.
No, there's the 11 at the bottom.
There we go. What does that 11 mean?
No one got us.
No one wore a what?
Red or blue.
Red or blue. Does everybody agree with that? All right, so this number 8, look, it's very easy. Very, very easy, but something we don't really discuss. All right, 8, what do you think 8 represents? The people who just wore what? Blue. 4 people wore what? Blue shirt and a red shirt. And then there were 11 that what? Did not wear a blue or a red. So how many people do we have accounted for so far? 20 how much?
23.
I think 23, right? So then how many people wore just a red? 7. Do you understand that? That's something kind of intuitive I think you should be able to get. All right? So here we go. What are we doing for 16? Right triangle. First thing comes to your mind when you see a right triangle is? A squared plus b squared equals c squared. Beautiful. Bless you. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. So 20 squared plus 40 squared equals c squared. 20 squared is what? 400 plus 1600 equals c squared. 2000 equals c squared. So everybody agree with that? Now listen to me. I think James has it correct. I think he looks at the answers a lot. All right? I think that's the way, if you are a good standardized test taker, especially in this position, you want to look at your answers. So 20 goes in there, or 40. Does everybody agree with that? So what is 20 times 20? 400. Does everybody see what I'm doing? So 400 times 5 is 2,000. Does everybody see that? Right? Because if it was 40, I would have to do 40 times 40, which is 1,600, and 1,600 times 5 is not 2,000. Everybody good with that? All right. So the square root of 400 is 20. So it'd be 20 radical 5. 20 radical 5. So we good with that? All right. Pythagorean theorem. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. All right. A sales clerk earns 3% commission. If she sold something for $4,450, then what is her commission? Now listen to me. Here's where I don't know, especially a Jesuit, you're not allowed to use a calculator. I'm not real sure about anything else. Right? I know on the EOC you get a calculator that comes up on the computer, I think. So you might just get some little basic calculator. So here's how I want you to think about this. Can somebody tell me what 1% is? What's 1% of 4,450?
44.
Very good. Very, very good. So 1% is 4,450. Does everybody agree with that? Right? And I could say 4,450 is pretty close to 50, right? So if I'm estimating 1% is $50, so 3% would be somewhere around what? So I'm looking for my answer that's close to 150. Now, the other thing is, now you got to be careful now, because this ends in a what? 3. Does everybody see what I'm showing you now? Please listen. All right. Whereas if I multiply this by 3, it's going to end in a what? Does everybody agree? The answer would be what? The answer would be A. So 148 is a little close to what? 150. Does everybody agree with that? All right. So again, I'm trying to show you how you would do it. Plus, look at A, C, and D. They're kind of all the same. Does everybody agree with that? So usually the answer is not what? The different one. Does everybody agree with me on this? All right. So that's a good way to multiply without multiplying, is do estimation. All right. Now, here is something a lot of kids don't know because they look at the symbolism and they think it's difficult. I need everybody to remember the domain is simply the what?
X value.
Thank you. The x values. Thank you very much. The domain is the x. All right? And the range then would be considered the what? So all we're doing is we're looking for the y values. We're looking for the y values. All right, so how do I find the y values? I just plug -2 in. When I plug -2 in, I get what? Come on, help me out. -2 squared. Come on, guys. 4 plus 1.
5.
So it has to be a 5.
So
So it's not right off the bat A or B, right? And it's not. Wow. Does everybody see that? You know, there's not a whole lot involved there. It's just plug one number in and you can eliminate everything else. All right? You don't have to put them all in. All right? Now, for 19, please watch. I'm trying to solve for what? For Z, correct? So I have to isolate it. Now, does everybody agree it's negative to start off? So for me, I would take this and move it to the other side. So I would have y plus w equals 3/4 z. Do you understand that so far? Now I have to get rid of the what? I have to get rid of the 3/4, so I multiply by the reciprocal. Multiply by the reciprocal. All right, and when I do that, I end up with 4/3 y plus w equals z.
wait, why is it 4? Oh, never mind.
You good? So my correct answer is what, guys? A. Yes, sir. Good, Drew.
What did you do with the 0?
Okay, so here's what happened, Drew. I put 0 plus 3/4 z.
Oh,
You with me on that?
yeah.
That's what happened. All right, anybody else? All right, come on now. Stay in the game. Ask a few questions if you need to. All right, make sure you understand it. All right, I'm telling you, you do not want to repeat Algebra 1, wherever you're going. All right, you do not want to do it. That's how important this is. All right, here we go. It says Gloria earns 1.5 times her normal hourly pay for each hour she works over 40 hours. Her normal pay is P dollars. Last week she worked 47 hours and earned $489.85. All right, so let's see. This represents, well, I don't even really have to do anything, correct? I just have to solve that for P, right? They set everything up for us. If I were writing this exam, I would just not include that. All right, where you'd have to do it yourself. All right, but since they gave you that, we just have to solve that, which isn't a big deal. So what's 7 times 1.5? Remember, 7 times 1 is 7. Half of 7 is 3.5. So 7 plus 3.5 is 10.5. All right, so we have 40p plus 10.5p equals 489.85. And so now this would be what? 50.5p equals 489.85, correct? Now here is where I think I would do a quick estimation. All right. I would look at this and say, that's pretty close to what? 500, right? And this is pretty close to 50, right? So I'd say it's closer to 10. All right. I would say it's closer to 10. Does everybody agree with that? All right. Did anybody do the math on that? Because you're allowed a little basic calculator. So just to check myself on that.
Yeah,
Well, it was D, right? Yeah. All right. Just by estimation. All right. And what I'm trying to show you is if you were in time, all right, you were, you know, some of them have time tests. I don't feel like dividing that out. Take a good guess. It doesn't matter. You don't have to get them all right, especially if you're taking the EOC. The EOC, I think, cutoff is like at 50%. That's why none of the kids ever fail. All right? Because, again, you just have to know half of it. All right? And most of the time, you can eliminate answers, so you have a better than 50-50 chance of getting it correct. All right? So here we go. So everybody, this is just knowledge, right? That's a vertical line. So the slope is what? Undefined, right? Let's review this because I think this is important. This slope right here is what? So what's the slope? 0. Thank you. 0. Remember, you're going up the mountain, so that means the slope is what? Positive. You're going down the mountain, so that's what? And you can't ski on that. So that's why it's undefined. Everybody agree with me? That's the easy way to remember it. 0 slope, that's where you start. You're going up the mountain, so it's positive. You're going down the mountain, so it's negative. You can't ski or walk down that. All right, that's why it's undefined. Remember, you always read numbers from left to right. So as you read numbers from left to right, you know going up is positive and going down is negative. All right, here we go. Something we didn't talk too much about. So here we go. All right, this symbol right here, stay with me now. To me, that looks like an N. To me, that looks like an N. So that means the intersection. The intersection. And the intersection means what is in both sets. So what is in both sets? All right. B and D is in both sets. Does everybody hear me on that?
Yeah.
All right. So in A, there's a what? A B and a D. Right? So set B also has to have a what? A B and a D, but it can't contain anything that is also in the other set. So it looked like A was correct at first, but what? G is also in A. So that's not the answer. Is everybody with me on that? Hold on a second. Now, could set B contain B, D, 5, and E? Now the reason, because that 5 messes everything up. Why does 5 mess everything up?
Because it says letters on the alphabet.
Because it says letters of the alphabet. It says letters of the alphabet. So no numbers are allowed. So could it be B? Yes, because B and D and K. All right, and K is not in both sets. Yes.
Wait, so if B and D are in set A and B, how come it can't have something like the G or something?
How come it can't have a what?
How come it can't have like another number?
Okay, so listen to me. Good question. Because this universe means that's the only possibilities that are in the set. Letters are only allowed in the set. Right? You with me? So there couldn't be anything other than letters. You can only be talking about letters. That's what it's telling you. You with me now?
But like, I know it can only be letters, but how come B and D are allowed to be in both, but how come G can't?
Because it gives you the answer. It says that the intersection of A and B is B and D only.
Oh, okay.
B and D only. All right. If they put G, then A would be correct answer. All right. And again, that's a really good review. Hold on one second. I want to tell you one more thing. This symbol right here, I want everybody to write down, means union. All right. That means union. Union means what's in both sets. All right, what's in both sets? So I want everybody to look right here. If I wrote A union B, the answer would be everything in A and everything in B. So it would be A, comma, B, comma, D, comma, F, G, and K. Does everybody agree with that now? Everybody understand that? So union is just in set theory, union just means put everything together. All right? The intersection is the other common thing. The intersection, which looks like an N, is just what's in both sets. And U just means put everything in one set. That's union. All right, now if you want to go, you can. I just thought that was important. All right, 23. So again, blah, blah, blah. After all that, they gave me what? They gave me the equation again. So I really don't even care about what? The word problem. Just solve that. All right? So now when I solve that, P plus 1/2 P is 3/2 P plus 3 equals 21. So 3/2 P is equal to 18, multiplying by the reciprocal, which is 12. Thank you very much. All right, and now I verify what is actually P. Is the first half, all right, which is what we're looking for. All right, so the correct answer was C. Everybody good? All right, so question number 24, subtraction. Agreed? So again, you just have to remember to distribute the negative. So I tell kids plus and circle it, minus and circle it, minus and circle it. That way I know I've done what? Changed the signs. All right, I've changed the signs. So what's 6a squared minus 4a squared? 2a squared. 3a minus 2a. There you go. That easy. Correct answer. All right, it's that simple. All right. 25, which of the following is an equation with a line with an x-intercept of -2? All right, now again, this is another really important one because it's talking about lines. If the x-intercept is -2, that means -2, 0 is on the graph. If the y-intercept is -4, that means 0, -4 is on the graph. But we also know the y-intercept as b, correct? So C is not the answer. Thank you very much. That's how I'd hope you would do it. All right? Now, the easiest way, in my opinion, is just go ahead and find the slope. All right? Now, to find the slope, here's how I would recommend. Here's -2, 0, and here's 0, -4. So my slope is right there. Does everybody agree? So I went down what? 4. And to the right, how many? Down 4 and to the right 2. So I know the slope was -2. Everybody okay with that? All right, again, all of the line problems are super important. All the line problems are super important. All right, let's take a look at 26. Janelle has 5 gallons of paint. After painting 800 square feet, she has 3 gallons left. Is that us?
Yeah.
Wow, that was kind of quick.
It's a
All right, what is it? Oh, I forgot it was 12 day. All right.